is no bargaining with the gifts and talents that God has placed on the inside of us. The gifts and talents that he has placed on the inside of us are gifts. It's something that he didn't have to give us. And so how dare we say, well, I don't feel like doing it, or that's not really what I want to do. Hey y'all, my name is Terica and welcome to the Just Uhh Thought podcast. If you're a returning listener, then welcome back. If you are a new listener, then welcome to the fam. This is just a safe space to process feelings, emotions, thoughts that are never really talked about or maybe just never really thought about. Last week, we did talk about seasons of transition, and not only can they be rough, but it can be really rough to maintain hope during those seasons. So if you haven't given that episode a listen, I do suggest that you go back, take a listen, like, comment, share, subscribe as well. And yeah, I would love to know, am I the only one that's currently going through a season of transition? If I'm not, if you have been there, if you're currently there, leave me a comment in that video so we can talk about it a little bit. But this week, we are going to be talking about passion and obedience. Yeah, it's going to be a good one, so stay tuned. So last week, I talked about seasons of transition and how I'm currently going through one, and God has been revealing a lot of things. And not only has he been revealing things, but he also has been restoring some areas of my life as well. One of those is this podcast. Just to give you a little quick background story, in 2020, God gave me the assignment for this podcast. I was so excited, bought everything, had all the topics, sat down to do my episode, and y'all, literally nothing came out. I remember trying so hard to say something, and it was like nothing came out. And I felt so frustrated, defeated, annoyed, literally all the things. And so the summer of 2020 started a long season of disobedience, if I'm being very honest, and me picking up this podcast, putting it down, picking up, putting it down. But I think an important part to note is that I love creating social media stuff, creating design, captions, writing, whatever the case may be, I love creating. And so God opened a door for me. I think it was in 2020, 2021, I think somewhere around that time. But he opened up a door for me to do contract work, as a content creator for an organization. And y'all, I absolutely loved it. I shared last week that I was working a full-time job that I never liked from the beginning. And so by him opening up that door, I felt like it was just a space for me to still be able to do what I love. But with many organizations and corporations, there comes a change in leadership. And so with that change, just came some changes within our team. And so I knew that it was time for me to step away from that, but it was so hard for me to give it up because I just love creating. But staying there longer than I should have also led to me being burnt out with creating. And so I would say after that, I spent 3 years creating nothing, didn't think about creating, didn't think about writing, didn't think about anything. And so whenever I would pick up this podcast, I would feel again the same feelings that I felt the very first time I tried to sit down and record. I felt defeated. I felt, all of the things. And so now that I am in this season of transition, I told myself that I was going to give the podcast a real try this time. I released some episodes in 2024 and 2025, but really never gave it my all. And again, those same feelings of frustration, annoyance, all of those things played a part. And so now that I have started back being fully committed to this podcast, it has been so refreshing to feel the passion come back, not just for this podcast, but God has truly been reigniting my gift and talent of creating. And it like I just said, it has been so refreshing. And so when I started to think about it, you know, I was thinking about how in that season of where I was working for that organization, I felt amazing, like doing what I love to do. And how when that season came to an end, it was really hard for me. And so I just completely shut down the whole idea of creating anything, thinking that, you know, here we go again. God doesn't want to give me, you know, won't let me have full access into what I truly love to do and what I feel like I'm truly called to do. Meanwhile, the whole time, He had given me a podcast and a way to be able to be creative to the fullest of my ability. And I wasn't taking heed to that. You know, I felt like what He was calling me to do was a burden. And I remember just whenever He would bring up, you know, the podcast or someone else would bring it up, I would just get so frustrated because I'm like, I don't want to do this podcast. I want a job in PR. I want a job where I can create. And it's like, hello, He has given you the ability to do all of that, to create, and not just to create, but to spread His name and to spread His word. And so I don't know about you. I don't know what your assignment is. It may not be a platform. It may not be anything to do with a podcast or recording or whatever it may be. But whatever assignment God has given you to do, I want to challenge us to show up in that assignment and to show up to our full and our best ability. And we may feel the frustration, we may feel the doubt, we may feel the annoyance or whatever it may be, but we don't have to wait for those feelings to pass or those emotions to pass. When we step into fully what God has called us to do, the more we do it, the more evidence we have to back up the fact of this really isn't that bad. And honestly, truthfully, I enjoy doing this and I enjoy what God has called me to do. Why? Because He knows me better than I know myself. He knows that I'm creative. He knows that I enjoy doing those things. So He has given me an assignment to where I can fully do that. So maybe your assignment is marriage. Maybe it's motherhood. Maybe it's taking care of a family member. Maybe it's whatever the case may be, whatever assignment that He has given you, we have to obey Him and walk in it because we never know what is on the other side of that obedience. That obedience can bring healing. For me, it brought healing to that season of having to come out of that contract job. Truth be told, I felt so defeated, and it was just one of those things where I just never thought about anymore and I never looked at. But now that I'm in this space of where I'm able to create and you know, it's safe to create and I can do the creation the way that I want to do it without the limits of other people. I'm like, oh, okay, God. So this is what you wanted for me all along. And so again, this is just going to be a quick episode, but I just wanted to encourage someone that do whatever God told you to do. Be obedient. Don't be like me and spend 6 years in disobedience. Sitting in disobedience and rebelling against what God told you to do costs so much. It costs so much time, energy. And let me tell you something. God is not going to waver on what He said. If you're not going to do what He called you to do, then He will get somebody else to do it. Because at the end of the day, there is a reason for why He is calling us to do whatever it is. And so we have to be obedient and we have to walk it out. And the good thing about doing something that God has called you to do when you're scared is knowing that you have the full support and back of Him in heaven that is going to cheer you on, that is going to, you know, lead you and guide you to be able to do it fully and to the best of your ability. And so I know that this was like a quick episode. I started feeling myself getting like I was like getting excited because I'm like, there is just so many times that we put off things that God has told us to do just because we don't want to do them or it's not comfortable or it's not what we want to do. There is no bargaining with the gifts and talents that God has placed on the inside of us. The gifts and talents that He has placed on the inside of us are gifts. It's something that He didn't have to give us. And so how dare we say, well, I don't feel like doing it, or that's not really what I want to do. So for example, for me, God, I like the creativity, but I don't want to use the gift that you have given me to create doing that. Like, how dare I say that? And I said that for almost 6 years. And so I think that we are in a season of where God is giving us the opportunity to try again. And maybe you're like, He hasn't given me my assignment yet. Okay, but He has placed some type of gift and talent on the inside of you. Think about it. What is that gift and what is that talent? And ask Him, God, what would you have me to do? How would you have me to use this gift and talent? Because ultimately, it belongs to you. And whatever you say, whatever you call me to do, I have to be obedient in doing that. So I just wanted to come on here, give a little bit of encouragement, because let me tell you something. This thought really blessed me this week. I was like, wow, God, like I have, first of all, I just want to repent. I'm just so sorry for putting off the gifts that you have given me and not really shepherding them well and not using them for what you have called me to use them for, which is to uplift and to build your kingdom. And so maybe this week you join me in that. Like I said, think about your gifts, your talents. Think about the assignments that God has given you. Think about, just think about all of those things and take it to God this week in prayer and ask Him, God, what would you have me to do? And when you start, I would love to know, what is it? What is your gift? What is your talent? What is your assignment? I would love to support you in it. And just as you are supporting me in mine, and I believe that there's so much in store on the other side of obedience, not just for us, but for the people that are connected to it. And so I want to say, do the assignment, do it well. May God restore your passion. May God reignite the fire within you. May God stir up the gifts in you. May God breathe new life into your gifts, your talents, your assignment. May God put people around you that can support you to the fullest. May God put people around you that can encourage you in your moments of doubt, in your moments of frustration. And may you know that God in all of heaven is backing you up in this. I pray that you have a good week, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.